Yo, all right now, Pisces and Taurus, let's get to it. I'm gonna try to even do this in first person now. I think it'll be not only just more fun, but it'll be even simpler. So I'm basically gonna tell you, Taurus, what I'd be thinking. Should I be advancing on a Taurus or watching a Taurus, stalking a Taurus? You know what I'm saying? You get the picture, right? So, all right, let's get into it. The sun influences focus and concentration. It's in the sign of Libra, and Libra rules over, or should I say, represents in this message, balance, reciprocity, and coming to terms and agreements. All right. So both signs, Pisces and Taurus, are going to be focused and concentrating on these things at the same time. Yay! Really, every sign in the zodiac will, right? However, these this sun, this luminary, the sun, is going to be in different houses because you both have Libra in different houses. So for Pisces, Libra is the eighth house. So Pisces is focused and concentrating on sex, secrets, and transformation. So these things are all included in one, they're jumbled in one. So the expression is the sign. So Libra, meaning balancing out my life by partnering, Libra, partnering up with someone and doing it in a way that it manages in reciprocity. How will this result? The house is the result and the intent. How will this result in sex, secrets, and transformation? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm a Pisces, right? So I'm going to be looking at you, Taurus, like that, because these are the things that I'm focusing, I'm concentrating on without even looking at you, right? But when you come into the picture, we're talking about a relationship horoscope here. These are the things that I'm focusing, concentrating on. So if you want to be guessing about what your Pisces is focusing, concentrating on, I just told you. You know what I mean? Now, for you, the sun is in the sixth house, Taurus. So you see where things differ. So I'm a Pisces. I'm going to be looking for Tauruses to be focused and concentrating on finding balance and being reciprocal in the area of the sixth house, which represents work, which represents health, which represents hobbies. You understand what I'm saying? What is the Taurus doing along the lines of balancing their life out in that area? So it really don't got nothing to do with me unless I work with you, Taurus. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you are derailed from your focus and concentration in the areas that I just mentioned to focus on me, I see a red flag. And I know I could be irresistible. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Pisces out there, y'all know how y'all could be. You know what I'm saying? See, yeah, this is more fun. So, but I'm telling you how this is. This is astrology. Ain't got nothing to do with me having power over you or you being head over heels for me. It's like, yo, chick, your focus and concentration should be on your health, the pets, or not the pets, your work, or your hobbies. Maybe some hobbies that you might want to turn into work. Something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? But you should be expressing or finding reciprocity there. You should be establishing relationships there. See, I can tell you, like, I done dealt with Tauruses, and I can tell that they have healthy, potentially better healthy relationships when they're with me. I can tell when someone's at dis-ease when they're around me, right? So if a Taurus chick is around me and I could just see they fidgety or they keep panicking, they worrying about this, that, and the third because they feel they got to get up and run and go get whatever they got to get. I peep all of that, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I'll be like, yo, chill out, you know what I'm saying? Lay down, like, chill out. I'll be cooking all types of food and all that. I'll make the place real comfortable and all that. I see how it results in them having a healthy relationship, and they get more interested in the hobbies that they like doing. Oh, I want to do this. They start expressing all of these things. This is textbook astrology stuff I'm telling you right now. You know what I'm saying? So just pay attention to what I'm saying. In all actuality, wherever the sun is, Libra represents these things for Taurus under the sun sign horoscope. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking at the Taurus to be doing while I'm focusing, because you know what I'm focusing and concentrating on. You know what I'm saying? And don't worry about that now that you know that, because it's just what my focus and concentration is on. It doesn't mean I'm taking action on it. It doesn't even mean that I'm talking about it yet. And it doesn't mean that I'm interacting with someone else behind it either. Because if I'm talking about it, we're going to talk about that in Mercury. Whatever I'm interacting or whoever I'm interacting with, we're going to talk about that when I talk about Venus. And whatever I'm taking action on, we're going to talk about when I get to Mars. Unless or until we start talking about Gemini, because Gemini is a expression of communication. So wherever Gemini falls for me, or Pisces, Taurus, you're also going to understand where Pisces is going to be communicating at. All right. So that's the sun. Let's get to the planet Mercury. Mercury is influencing what? Talking, learning, processing information. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be doing it for where the sun is at, because Mercury is the sun's secretary, right? So Mercury is the planet of communication. So it's going to be communicating and learning about things relative to where the sign is at, though. But it's still going to impact the focus and the concentration, because that's just how things work. So it's always Mercury. That's why Mercury is always not too far from the sun. It's always going to be a house over. You know what I'm saying? If not in the same house. So for Taurus, it's in the sign before your 6th house. It's in a house before your 6th house, which is the 5th house. Okay. And the sign of Virgo. So Virgo, the expression now. The expression of Virgo is to assess, to analyze, to make it make sense. All right. To look at how different scenarios could fit in and what it is that is, what your intent is. And your intent is the house. The result is also the house. 5th house. What does the 5th house entail? It entails romance. It entails fun, gambling, kids, like, entertainment, events and stuff like that. But let's keep it limited to those things so we don't get off track here. You know what I mean? So you may, because your focus is in the 6th house, Taurus, right? Your communicating style, your speech style, however, your thoughts may be looking at, or will be looking at, romance, having fun, taking a gamble out there. And it could just be a romantic gamble. You know what I'm saying? Dating. And it's going to be on your kids should you have any. All right. So you're going to be speaking about these things, learning about these things, and processing information about these things. Okay. That's where your communication is going to be lying at. Now for Pisces, it's in the sign of Virgo, but for Pisces, it's in the 7th house. So the Pisces is going to be thinking about what? The Pisces is going to be thinking about public arena, partners, partnership, maybe one monogamous, maybe many, maybe poly. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But this is what Pisces is going to be communicating about, or at least being influenced to communicate and to learn about. All right. And being analytical and being critical, being, what's that word? Being discriminative about it as well. Using discretion. You know what I'm saying? Especially you, Taurus. You will want to use discretion while Mercury is here because of the gambling impact. You know what I'm saying? The gambling effect. So it's just like, if you're going to talk about gambling and stuff like that, you want to see how that has impacted your health historically, and how that impacted, or how it, and how it has impacted your work life and stuff like that as well. Because, and I say that because gambling takes away from wealth, and you got to work to obtain wealth. You understand what I'm saying? So if you can manage it and you can maintain it, who am I to be the judge? You know what I'm saying? But as a Pisces, I'm going to be looking at you when you're talking about that stuff. Like, oh, I want to go to Atlantic City. Oh, word. You want to go to Atlantic City? You got the money for that, huh? Or I'm going to be looking at prior events, or I'm going to be looking at things that you said you want to do in the future, or something that you want to do for the kids, or whatever the case may be. And I'm just be like, well, you got enough money to do that for the kids now. Oh, I know, but I want a little additional. I want a little extra. Well, we should wait till we start talking about Venus so we can understand what you could be doing with your money to do those types of things. You know what I'm saying? If we're having a conversation, Taurus, this is what I'm expecting you to be talking about. This is what you could expect from me, because I see where Mercury is at for you. And I'm going to be discriminative. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, you think so? Are you sure? Because, I'm going to be skeptic all the way, which you should be too, because it's in the sign of Virgo. You should be assessing this as well and saying, I don't know about the gambling joint right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to think this through. I'm going to have to contemplate on this. That's what I'm going to be looking for when I'm looking at a Taurus. So let's get into Venus, because Venus is going to be talking about the money. Venus influences money. Venus influences harmony, attraction, all right, harmonious interactions. So for you, Taurus, it falls in the sign of Virgo, all right, which it actually literally falls in the sign of Virgo too. Again, that's 5th house for you, so that's romance, fun, gambling, kids, events, entertainment, things of that nature. So you could be interacting with your kids more during this time, during Libra season. You could also be interacting on the dating scene. So let's say, for example, you and I are a serious item, Taurus, and you've been spending a lot of time away from me, I could simply assume, I could make an ass out of myself too, but I could simply assume that you're in a dating scene because Venus is inside of your fifth house during this time. You understand what I'm saying? So you might be discriminative about the dating scene at the same time because it's in the sign of Virgo, which is the expression, but you may be looking at me like, is that the person that is he worth dating? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a pool of people to date out here, and I'm gambling and I'm looking at my other my prospects, and it's looking kind of lit out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a potentiality that all I gotta do is look in the stars and I could pick up on these things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm going to accuse anybody of anything, but Taurus, if you're getting accused of this type of stuff from a Pisces, you can understand why. And this is anybody that you're dating, really. You can understand why. It's just because, your Venus is there, and you could potentially be on that. You know what I'm saying? You could get caught up out there because Venus being in your fifth house of romance and dating and speculative matters. You know what I'm saying? But it's also in the house of, it's the planet of money. You know what I'm saying? So you might just actually take that gamble and go to Atlantic City because Venus is in the fifth house. You understand what I'm saying? You might assess it and be like, you know what? I won this time when I went before and I got enough money stashed away that if I lose this amount, I'll still be okay. I'm going. And if that's your choice to do, that's your choice to do. But this is what I'm going to be looking at as a Pisces, to be looking at a Taurus of what they're doing. Now for Pisces, Venus is in the sign of Virgo, but it's in the 7th house. It'll be going to the 8th house in, when is that? The 30th of September. But right now it's in the 7th house. So Pisces is looking at who they're attracting. You're looking at who you're attracting too, but on a dating scene. Pisces is looking at who they're attracting on a serious level. On a business level, we're going to really do something solidified, contractual, coming to terms. You know what I'm saying? Even more because the sun is in Libra. So Venus rules over Libra, which shows the harmonious interaction that is valid for making an agreement, coming to terms. So with Venus being in the 7th house for Pisces, Pisces is going to be looking more into a more serious matter, a more serious partnership or partnerships. You understand what I'm saying? And Taurus, is up to you to see if you fit in that criteria. And as a Pisces, if I'm dealing with a Taurus, or I'm pursuing, or I'm looking to pursue a Taurus, that's what I'm going to be looking at. How is the interaction between you and I? Do I even attract you? Right? Because Venus is in my 7th house. If I'm not even attracting a Taurus, then that shows me something. Okay, well, Taurus is not, that's not the ideal partner for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not even attracting them. So off to the, I'm not saying off to the next, like that's what I'm doing this for, but I'm just saying the way that I present myself is what I'm going to attract. You know what I'm saying? So it's as simple as putting on these beads, putting on this, and putting on the DKNY sweaters. Like, it's just as simple as that. Okay, well, how many Taurus are going to get in the comment section? You know what I'm saying? Man, that sounds so superficial, but I'm serious. Like, that's how it could happen. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that's how, if you Taurus, you're looking at your Pisces, that's what you can expect from your Pisces, for them to be attracting people based upon their presentation, how they adorn themselves. You know what I'm saying? And for the intent and the result of actually solidifying a partnership, So again, you might be wanting to have fun and be in the dating pool, and that's your prerogative because that's where Venus is for you, But if Pisces just happens to be in that dating pool and you're like, you know what, this is more of a serious prospect, then your Pisces is going to be attracting you, and you can land in that 7th house field sector for Pisces. You understand what I'm saying? And it should be fun for you. If it's not fun for you, then there's something wrong with the harmony. It's not harmonious. Remember, Venus is harmonious interaction between two people. If it's not harmonious, then it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? If it's not fun for you, Taurus, and I'm not saying it could be serious for your Pisces, yet fun for you. And you might say, well, that's not fair. And it's just like, no, it is. As long as the interaction is harmonious, it is. It's just your Pisces has a more serious demeanor because it's 7th house for him. You could have as much fun as you want because it's 5th house for you. You understand what I'm saying? When y'all both know this information, it should be harmonious. It shouldn't be any type of, why would you even beef if you know this? You'll be in your natural element. he'll be in his natural element, so on and so forth. Or y'all make the gender fit how it's supposed to fit, you feel me? Now, Mars is in Gemini during the whole Libra season, right? So for Taurus, for you, Mars is in your second house. So now we're talking about action. We're also talking about solo action, but Mars does influence desire. So you may have desire for your significant other, your lover, and that might be a Pisces, right? And it also influences taking action, energy, and something that you want to protect. Also a sense of urgency, right? So if you got to go out and get it for whatever particular reason, and even more so for the reasons that I discussed with the other planets and the different signs and the different houses, then you would be taking action in those areas for the intent and the result of obtaining income, revenue. Also for the purpose of budgeting. You might be looking at your finances right now and saying, okay, well, I got to move this around here, shift this around there, and I got to either take on more so I can earn more, or I got enough in my savings or in my personal checking account that I can actually take a little time off and put that energy, put my Mars energy into something else that I desire to do. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what you should be taking action on. You should be actually in your bank accounts, looking at all the money, looking at all the expenses, what you could cut back on, what you shouldn't cut back, what you should up. You know what I mean? Invest more in self-care, what you should adorn yourself with, things of that nature. You know what I mean? And again, like I said, I'll be telling people Mars, sex drive, right? But Venus is interaction. It takes two to tango. You know what I'm saying? So you might be banging yourself with Mars and Gemini, you know what I'm saying? Using the hand or whatever. I'm just giving it a beat, you know what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me or whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, when it comes to your own singular desire, that's Mars. When it comes to Venus, remember, that's reciprocal. That's okay. We meet up as one. We're going to come at the same time type stuff. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to shortchange me because that's Mars energy. Whoever gets off first and that's all Mars energy. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna do this position because I like this position most and I don't really care how it ends up for you. As long as I'm good. That's Mars in a sexual encounter. You understand what I'm saying? But as a Pisces, this is what I'm going to be looking at the Taurus to do. So if you're directing that energy towards me, I'm going to be like, yo, am I paying you? Why are you throwing yourself at me like that? Like you should be trying to get a check or whatever the case may be. You'd be like, oh, that's prostitution. I'm going to be like, oh, well, there's OnlyFans. And I got the statistics. But you understand what I'm saying? Like this is a whole new world. And it ain't like this world didn't exist prior to this. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Pisces, the sun is in the 8th house for Pisces. So definitely Pisces is going to be looking like, what is my sex worth too? You know what I'm saying? How is sex transforming me? How am I reaching this, euphoria or this sense of coming out on the other side, this brand new person? Is it doing it for me? Because if it's not doing it for me, I might try to get a check out of this too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna just be riding my meat on OnlyFans and I ain't getting no percentage of the cut. Like what's really good? You understand what I'm saying? This is a real conversation that we're having right now. But I'm just telling you, right? As a Pisces, I'm gonna be looking at you, Taurus, like you trying to bone and all that, but where the bread at? Mars is in your second house right now. You should be taking action to get your bread, to get your money. You know what I'm saying? And you take it how you want to take it. You know what I mean? But the expression of Gemini should be the answer, or is the answer of how you can obtain that wealth, and that's through communicating, taking short distance trips. I'll give you a great example, like being an Uber driver, right? Gemini rules over vehicles. So if you drive in the community, if you're driving around the community, around your neighborhood, picking up people, dropping them off, and you're getting paid for that, that's an exact example of Mars taking action in Gemini, the expression, which is driving short distance trips in your community to obtain the result, the intent, revenue, income, second house, in order for you to budget your finances out and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And for Pisces, Taurus, if you want to know where Pisces is harnessing their energy and directing their energy, is relative to their 4th house. So they're going to be thinking about savings. They're going to be thinking about later on in life. Not thinking about it, I'm using the wrong term. They're going to be taking action on those things. So everything a Pisces is doing right now is for their legacy. Everything a Pisces is doing right now is for their home, whether it's their second, their third, their fourth, their first. They're doing it for that. but they're doing it for their savings account. They're doing it for their their not investments. I won't even say investments, but yeah, you could say investments. You could say investments. An interest-bearing account, sure. You know, this is what a Pisces is doing all of the Gemini expressions for. They might be reading, writing, talking, and also taking short distance trips. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so these are the things that you need to know. Taurus and Pisces, that's pretty much it. I'm keeping it on a personal level now. I'm not adding the transitional planets of Saturn and Jupiter. It's just too much. It's too much for the individual to handle as well, I feel. You know, to keep it personal, because you're in a relationship. It's just you and that other person. You know what I mean? So utilize the personal planets and keep it there. Then you, maybe somewhere along the line, we get to discussing transitional things or whatever the case may be. All right, I'm out.